Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna make chicken cacciatore pasta. That's right, chicken and pasta coming up right now. Let's go over all those ingredients. 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You know, this recipe is enough for about 4 to 6 people, depending on how much you have, because we have a whole pound of pasta too. I have 1 28-ounce can of plum tomatoes. I just hand crushed them. You can also put them in a blender and just pulse them if you want, or you can use crushed tomatoes. I had 1 large onion that I sliced into these kind of thin pieces, 1 red bell pepper that I just sliced, a half a cup of oil-cured black olives. I absolutely love these olives. They're very salty, so I soaked them in water for about 20 minutes, then I drained them. You can taste them initially, then you can soak them and see if you remove some salt. Just keep that in mind before you start adding salt in the beginning of the recipe to the sauce. In addition to that, we have another salty ingredient, which is 3 tablespoons of capers. These olives and capers make this cacciatore really delicious and different. Though, if you look at the other chicken cacciatore, the traditional recipe I did put them in. But that one had celery and had more peppers and stuff. So we're doing something a little different today. We have 3/4 cup of white wine in this, which is right here. We have 3/4 cup of low sodium chicken stock. So it's gonna give it enough liquid to braise the chicken. We have 3 ounces of tomato paste. It's gonna increase the body of it. And then I have about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic sliced, and if you want to do 15, do 15. The fat in this, I have olive oil. We'll use a little bit of that, about 2 tablespoons for the chicken sear, and then we'll do a little bit of butter too, and we're gonna put more butter in there. So this is about 4 or 5 tablespoons of butter. Let's get into seasoning and searing the chicken right now. So I'm gonna heat this up to a little bit higher than medium. I'm not gonna be able to fit all the pieces in, so I'll just salt and pepper 1 batch for now. And because if you put salt on it, liquid's gonna come out. Tiny bit of olive oil there. I'll wait to put the butter in because it's just gonna burn, so we'll just wait a second. Okay, and then right down, you hear that sounds really nice. Yeah, and you know, we weren't gonna fit it all, so we'll do 2 batches. It's gonna take about 3 to 4 minutes per side to get it nice and brown. You will get it brown even with a non-stick, though I do prefer a stainless pan. Now that we have a little bit of meat in here, it brought the temperature of the pan down enough that we could put in some butter. The butter is just gonna give a really nice flavor to this, but I think the butter and the tomato is gonna be the trick here on this one. So that was about 4 minutes, and see, we got a pretty good sear even with our non-stick pan. But you know, you're doing cacciatore here. It's not really about the sear. In fact, traditionally cacciatore is done with skin on chicken, a whole chicken, and the skin gets all rubbery and just soft because it's completely submerged in sauce, right, Tara?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep saying right, Tara, every time I want Tara to say yes.
I'm like your laugh track.
These have been going for about 4 minutes per side. It's a decent sear here. So we're gonna take these out. See, like, there you go, like that. Let's take these out and let's put a little bit more sprinkle of salt on them because chicken needs a little bit more flavor. It doesn't have much flavor, though thighs have more flavor than boring white meat. So just a little sprinkle here of salt, and it'll absorb right into that hot oil. So all the chicken's done. I just backed the heat off to about a 4 out of 10, just a touch below medium. We will do our onions and peppers. And I am putting them in at the same time. You know, you can get to the finish line in a lot of different ways, guys. I'm gonna put in the butter. Okay, so that's the remaining butter. The recipe says 4 tablespoons. I think you probably would be better off with maybe 5 or 6 here. I'm actually gonna add a touch of olive oil too there. Let's let these go. They're about a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. We wanna just get these nice and softened up. All right, so those went for about 7 minutes. They could go longer, but this is gonna braise for another 40 minutes or whatnot with the chicken. Make a little bit of room here. I'm just gonna put all that garlic in. That delicious garlic, and we'll let that get a little bit of color, but more importantly, become fragrant before we move on to the next step. It's looking nice. The butter smells great. There's the garlic, the onions, the peppers. Tara was saying you wanted mushrooms in this, right?
I love mushrooms, and I was thinking that they would probably go really well in this dish.
Yeah, I think so too. So just make it your own. You do what you like. If you like mushrooms, add mushrooms. If you want more peppers, if you want celery, if you want carrot. So I'm putting in 3 ounces of tomato paste, which is half a standard US can of paste. And then I'm gonna cook it in here, and I wanna fry this paste, like thoroughly incorporate it in here for about 5 minutes. If you start to burn, which probably won't happen because you have a lot of butter in here and liquid from the onions and the peppers, but if you do, all you have to do is just take your pan off the heat. Take a splash of water, just turn on your faucet, splash of water, just go like this, and that will reduce the temperature of your pan very quickly. It's the simplest thing you can do. You have an electric stove, you just move it off to the side, to the unheated burner. But what I am gonna do here is, and this is good now, you can see, it's beautiful color, it's fried out enough. I have 3/4 cup of dry white wine. This is Sauvignon Blanc. I'm just gonna put it in here, just keep your head back when you do it. This is just low sodium chicken stock, chicken base I always use it. Why do I use it? Because it's better than most box stuff. The best would be if you have your own stock, but again, if you're watching me, you probably don't have your own stock. All right, I'm turning this to high. People often wonder why food tastes better in a restaurant. Well, some restaurants. Most restaurants, it doesn't taste better. But a lot of it has to do with they're using stocks that they make. They're using a lot more butter. They're using a lot more salt. They're using wine in every dish. I mean, these are a lot of the ingredients that, we try to use on this channel. Like, the biggest difference is a restaurant will use a lot more fat. They don't care, about calorie amount, and they'll use a lot more salt until it just tastes really good when it comes out to you. So all I'm gonna do here is, it's on high, it's bubbling. I just wanna reduce this by about half. Let it cook out. If you use a stainless pan, you can use the flat edge of your wooden spoon, and you can try to remove some of that 4-letter word that we don't say on this channel. But it's reducing very quickly here. Just concentrating it. The reason I used that more liquid is because with the chicken and everything, I need to have enough sauce at the end for that 1 pound of pasta. That's good, that reduced enough. How do I know? I just know. All right, that's our consistency there. Tomatoes, 28 ounces of those beautiful, what would he say, Marzano Tower? I can't remember.
Yes, they were.
See all those chicken juices, the accumulated juices right here? See how they're all going in? That's all the chicken juices and the chicken. Chicken was only cooked 4 minutes per side, and this is chicken thighs. So chicken thighs are gonna be better when you get them to break their connective tissue to break down. So that normally happens around like that 185 degrees to about 200 degrees mark. They'll get more tender, they'll fall apart. All right, so we're gonna submerge these. So I'm gonna lower it down to a simmer, which is gonna be about a 3 out of 10. If you're worried about you're reducing too much, just put a cover on it or crack it a little bit. Crack it a little bit, you will get part evaporation. Put it over completely, you will get no evaporation. Leave it off completely, you will get full evaporation. If you don't have a cover for this, use a piece of foil and just like this. But I think we're good like this right now. Maybe we'll cover it in about 10 minutes. This has been about 10 minutes. It's definitely liquidy enough. Keep an eye on it. You might need to cover it, yours. Like we said, you could do a partial cover, but this is good like this. You could keep checking the chicken to see if it's nice and tender, or you can just use a thermometer. So it's been about 25 minutes, and I took out a piece of chicken. I used my instant read thermometer here, and it registered 150 degrees after 25 minutes. So chicken needs 165 to be done regardless, so it's not even done yet. The timing is important for the recipe, but more important is for you to understand when to start your pasta. You don't want to start your pasta until this chicken is tender, and it's just not tender yet. It's not even close. Don't rush the process. Just let it cook. Okay, so it's been about 33 minutes. Let me show you what I mean by the chicken will get tender. So you see this here? See how it's almost starting to like shred apart. I don't really want to break them down because I want the nice big pieces, but these are tender. I took a temperature reading and I had like 170. So they're going to continue to cook now. Our sauce is a really good consistency as well, like this. If you think it's too evaporated, you can just turn it off at that moment. But what I'm going to do is let's give this a little taste and let's get our water up to boil for the pasta. Oh my God, the flavor is amazing. It's the butter and the wine and the everything about that is, I think I got a home run here, really. I'm not even gonna put a touch of salt. The capers and the olives are very, very salty. We'll do that at the end. Be careful with your salt levels. All right, let's boil that pasta and let's go get some fresh herbs from the garden. I mean, this is tremendous. Honestly, this basil is even a little bit too high. When it starts to get to flowers, when it goes to seed, you don't want it this high. It's just, this rain has been crazy, and then I don't look at it for a day or two. This basil is good too. I'm gonna take a little bit of parsley and basil. We did not get a new kitchen, all right? This is just the old kitchen. There's Sammy. She's making chocolate chip cookies over there. Now we are back in this kitchen, all right? With our herbs. 1 pound of pappardelle that is going to take a very long time to cook. It normally will say on here, you can't really trust it though. So it says cook for 8 minutes. This is definitely wrong. You can tell by how thick it is that it's going to take longer than that, but we'll just taste it. We will taste it. And what we want to do is we want to cook it to 1 minute less than al dente because we're going to finish it in the sauce here. Keep your salt levels at 1.5% salinity. That means 2 tablespoons of salt roughly per gallon of water. So the chicken is super tender here. I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna put all the chicken in a separate bowl, all right? So there'll be no chicken in pasta unless you want chicken in pasta. So since the pasta's almost done, let's put in our capers and our oil-cured olives. So here's the capers. So oil-cured olives, I actually want to chop them. I don't know why I didn't chop them already, but you know what? Let's put them in like that. Let's get crazy today, you know? Yeah, you definitely are not going to need salt in here. Not after that. The timing was pretty close, actually. I think it took 1 minute more. Gently coat everything here. Now, if you wanted to, you could have taken a little bit of that sauce out. Say you were going to separate these 2 dishes and you were really going to just have like your first course and then your second course. Take a little bit of sauce out. If you did do that and you would say you were running out of sauce, what you could do here is add a little bit of pasta water. I didn't put any pasta water in here. It's not going to really be needed, though always reserve it. So let's thoroughly coat this and just let it cook right until it reaches al dente. I'm gonna turn it off here. And if you wanted to, you could put even another knob of butter right there. Here we go, the beautiful basil and our parsley. You know, use as much as you like here, or as little as you like. You could also mince this if you want, parsley. Maybe I'll do a little tear basil, just a bit. You know, if you think you're getting a little dry here, you got your pasta water. We separated the chicken and the pasta, but I just combined them right now for you at the end.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna say anything. She wasn't watching either before. So the chicken is tender, right? I can tell by looking at it.
The chicken is the one thing I'm gonna critique.
Okay, so what's wrong?
It's a little tougher than I was expecting.
Maybe a little bit longer?
I thought it was gonna be a little bit easier for me to put my fork through and for me to chew it.
Yeah.
As far as the flavor of the cacciatore sauce, it's really good. I don't think I got a whole lot of olives.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Here, are there a lot in there?
There's a lot.
Okay, because I was gonna say that would be the other thing. I would want more of the olives.
So we did 1/2 cup, guys. You can definitely do more than that. I wanted to not go crazy here because they're very salty.
Yeah. I love those oil-cured olives.
You think we should change it to 3/4 cup in here?
Yes.
See that, guys? Yep, we're gonna change it.
Definitely. I'm gonna knock a point off for the chicken.
Do you think it was that piece of chicken, maybe? What about...
Give me another piece.
What about if you have that piece of chicken?
This one's much better.
I mean, so the chicken, this is a problem, guys, with all food that we've been getting lately. That was 2.5 pounds of chicken you bought. It was only 5 thighs. That is not right. Normally you'll get about 7.
Oh yeah, this one's much better.
Normally you'll get about 7 to 9 thighs.
Much better. This almost...
It almost tastes like white meat.
I was gonna say, this one almost...
They probably took
tasted
some of
like
it.
a chicken breast.
I know.
That's what I think my problem was. All right, so am I still knocking the point off for the chicken, or?
Yeah, listen, it's the chef's error. When you buy chicken thighs, don't buy a pack that only has 5 thighs that weighs 2.5 pounds. That is dinosaur, gigantosaurus chicken. I think this is a great one. I still think you should make it. Do you think that they should make it, Tara?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I recommend definitely making it. Add more olives. I think the caper amount was fine, but if you like more capers, add more capers.
Maybe add more butter.
The other thing that I think would have been really good is, I know you sliced the garlic for this, but I love when you cook cloves of garlic.
Yeah, like 15 cloves.
Yes.
Whole cloves
so
of garlic.
That I think could make this even better. But outstanding. I would eat it every night if I could.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tough crowd.